Our guest, Don Jameson, has a master's degree from the University of Arkansas, a bachelor's in psychology from the University of Dayton. And on behalf of my family, and I'm sure many of our audience, would like to say thank you for your service as a naval officer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Powell.
Now, I know you personally, and I consider you to have a fiery personality. Do you think that that contributed to your ascension to Navy officer, or how would you describe your time as a Navy officer?
My time as a naval officer was incredibly empowering. It allowed me to get a different look on the world as a whole and different types of people. And I think it assisted me in helping to reach out, learning how to reach out to others. So it's very, very important in my progression to where I am today. So I'm very grateful for everything I learned while I was in the military.
Wonderful. And tell us about your early years in the field of health, fitness, and nutrition.
That's an interesting journey, and I would like to just kind of sum it up by saying I thought I was eating healthy the majority of my life. I thought I was working out, all in an effort to keep my weight down and to be healthy. And what I found out is what I had been doing, the way I was eating, it really wasn't serving me well, but it took me a while to make the connection. And so that's why I'm really big on making the connection to what we're eating and how we're living our lives. And once you really begin to look into that information, it helps you take what you're doing a lot more seriously.
Okay. Well, what was something that helped you make that connection?
One of the greatest things I would say is when I found out how much sugar I was eating in my diet, in the form of what we would consider good quality type of carbohydrates, such as vegetables, beans, peas, grains, and fruit. Those are all carbohydrates. And what I came to realize was that all of those carbohydrates, whether it was a carrot or whether it was a Snickers bar, it all broke down into glucose, sugar in the body. And that was a big light bulb for me, a really big light bulb for me.
Once you had that information, what did you do with it? Did you internalize it and watch your carbohydrate intake? Did you make choices on which carbohydrates you were going to eat, or more of or less of?
What I did was I had to be able to identify the food I was eating. I did not understand how to identify food. I did not realize that all food is either a protein, a fat, or a carbohydrate.
Okay.
And so when I educated myself about what foods were proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, then I could make wiser decisions about the carbohydrates I was taking in.
Okay.
And one of the big things I also found out was that 0 carbohydrates are required for the human body. And that's because our body can make its own glucose, which is what all carbohydrates break down into. Overwhelming information. And so once I really made that connection, I could begin to reduce the amount of carbohydrates in my diet, the amount of sugar in my diet. And that is how I began to lose weight, because my weight had gotten up to 168 pounds. I'm only 5'2", and now I'm weighing in at 120. I'm able to maintain my weight. I found out that my body cannot tolerate a lot of carbohydrates.
I see. So is that what you mean by change your eating, change your life?
That is correct. Change your eating, change your life. I tell people when they come to talk with me, they don't need any particular tools. Everything they need, they already have, and it's an open mind. As long as you have an open mind, the world is your oyster.
Fantastic. Well, there's something that I've been excited about. You created something that's that you call the Educated Eating Clubs, or E2 clubs, and they're springing up all over the place. And to me, it sounds like a safe space for people that are looking for inspiration, collaboration, sharing of experiences, similar to like what we're doing right now. And could you just describe what the typical member of the E2 club looks like?
Yes, it's someone who is wanting to do something different. They've reached a point in their life where they're reaching out, looking for a group of people, a support group, if you will,
Okay.
who will allow them just to be who they are, to ask questions. And I tell people, I say, look, I'm not a nutritionist and I'm not a dietitian. I'm a nutritional awareness consultant. I'm someone who can share information with you about my journey and how I came to understand food in a better way. So I don't want them to get me confused with either of those professions. Mm-hmm. I'm in the middle, just as an educator. So I needed a place where I could go. I needed someone whom I could speak with about what was happening to me, because I had gotten to the point where I had a really poor relationship with the food I was taking in my body, to the point where everything I seemed to be eating was turning into fat on my body. And so someone who comes to the Educated Eating Club, I want them to be relaxed. I want them to be able to ask questions, because I don't know everything. And I'm always learning when I go to the Educated Eating Clubs. So they come there, we talk about what they're eating, learning how to identify food, basic information that they could find on the internet. But the Educated Eating Club is not a place, it's not a place for you to pity yourself. Uh-huh. It's a place of empowerment. My whole mission is to encourage and empower individuals to take control of their health, take personal responsibility for what's going on in their lives, to educate themselves, and so that they can move out into the world of food with the knowing that it's not a perfect world, but I can better operate in that world of food and know that I have a group of people, like-minded people, who can help me on that journey. So it's something simple that can be done. Educated Eating Clubs can crop up anywhere, at your church, in your neighborhood. You don't have to have a special degree or certification in order to start your own Educated Eating Club. It's just about like-minded people coming together and supporting one another. And like I said, it's not a pity party. You must be willing to take responsibility for your health if you are, in fact, wanting something more.
I believe that there's so many people out there that are wanting more right now, frustrated with the way things are going. They're
Yes.
just, just don't have any options, alternatives. I mean, this club, if it could provide them with just where to go to eat, because some people just have to eat out, or what to buy when you go out. What are your choices?
That's correct.
And sharing those experiences, I believe, is valuable and priceless for someone struggling with this alone. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come and spend some of your day with us, sharing this information. And if people wanted to reach you, how would they go about doing that?
They could go to my website, educatedeating.com, mm-hmm. and all my contact information is right there. So
sounds easy enough.
Change your eating, change your life.